What really happened behind the scenes that made Jimin cornered in silence, Taehyung forced to make sacrifices, and Jungkook actually destroy everything? Is this the end of their togetherness, or just the beginning of a deeper breakdown? This shocking fact made fans wonder, who was actually hurt, and who is the reason for all this? How about a crack that gets wider and wider until it finally destroys everything? How can a small step made by one person actually become a domino that drops all the hopes, dreams, and beliefs that have been built over the years? Why did Jungkook's name suddenly emerge as the center of an emotional storm that shook not just Jimin and Taehyung, but the entire BTS fan universe? It all started with a seemingly ordinary moment, a brief live broadcast performed by Taehyung on a quiet night. However, in that silence, the sentence thrown from him was not something ordinary. "If I could choose, I'd rather be the one who got hurt than see him have to endure it all by himself," she said as she stared blankly at the screen. Who is meant? Is this about Jimin? And why did the camera spotlight suddenly disappear after that sentence? Shortly after, Jimin uploaded a blurry photo, a cloudy sky with a short caption, "I don't know what else to do." The fandom world immediately thundered. Some tried to calm down, some tried to interpret, some began to ask, where was Jungkook when all this happened? The question is not without foundation. Jungkook, who had always been where Jimin leaned, suddenly changed drastically. His attitude is cold, his speech is short, and in one of the short interviews for the promotion of the latest collaboration, he even jokingly said, "I'm not sure everything can stay the same after this." Is that a warning? Is that a threat? Or regrets? What made things even more complicated was Jungkook's decision a few days after Jimin's statement and Taehyung's broadcast. He suddenly canceled his participation in a highly anticipated collaboration project, a project supposedly dedicated to the memory of the three of them together. Is this a rejection of memories? Or an attempt to erase something from the past? Then came a moment that will never be forgotten by anyone who witnessed it in person. In a closed-door meeting that eventually leaked to the public via backstage cameras, Jungkook was seen arguing hotly with Taehyung. Their voices were not clear, but their gestures spoke more than 1,000 words. Taehyung was seen holding back his emotions, while Jungkook hit the wall until his hand bled. No one knows what they're talking about. But the most surprising thing was, there was no Jimin in the room. The days after that seemed to be an endless rainstorm. Jimin disappeared from social media. No word. There is no schedule live. And fans began to ask, is he really leaving? Did he give up? Some say it all started with an unspoken misunderstanding. That Jimin kept something he should have said earlier. That Taehyung knows and tries to protect her. But why did Jungkook destroy everything? Several sources close to their probe said that the three had had a difficult time after intense pressure from agencies, the media, and public alike. Jimin, known for his soft heart and boundless sincerity, reportedly felt too burdened. He feels not good enough, not strong enough, not important enough. And perhaps that feeling turned into a deadly silence when the person he trusted most drifted away without explanation. I asked that what prompted Taehyung to speak in front of the camera with a wounded heart. Is that what made Jungkook take the fatal decision that now haunts everything? What's even more heartbreaking is the recording of a voice suddenly circulating Jimin's voice, slow and barely audible, saying, "I just want them to be happy, even without me." That sentence is enough to make anyone who hears it cry. Did Jimin really think to leave everything behind? Does he feel no longer needed? It's not just fans who are feeling this mess. Even some staff members who had worked closely with them could not help but show concern. One of the staff said, "I've never seen them like this. In the past, they always looked after each other, but now, everything just seemed to collapse." That night, when news of Jimin allegedly undergoing treatment for his emotional condition spread, the world seemed to stop spinning. No confirmation. There is no clarification. There was only silence, and a sense of guilt lingered on someone's face. Jungkook. The question now is, does Jungkook realize the impact of what he has done? Does he understand that his decision, whatever the reason, has destroyed more than just a relationship? It destroys trust. It destroyed a balance that had been so fragile but precious. It destroyed Jimin. However, is everything really Jungkook's fault? Or is he just a victim of a bigger conflict that has never been seen before? Is it possible that there is someone behind the scenes who orchestrates everything, dividing them one by one, in the most subtle and deadly way possible? Now, Taehyung is the only figure who tries to keep the remnants of hope. She smiled at the camera, signaling that everything would be okay. But the eyes cannot lie. And in every look of his eyes, there was one thing that could not be hidden: sadness. The question continues to haunt everyone. What really happened that night? What made Jungkook decide to step down, even when he knew Jimin was at his lowest point? Why does Taehyung seem to sacrifice himself to keep something from falling apart? Will they go back to the way they were? Or is this the end of a story we've loved for years? And if this is the end, who will save Jimin? Do you believe that silence can be more painful than screaming? That letting someone disappear without words can feel like the quietest betrayal? That's what a lot of people are starting to feel about Jungkook and Jimin's relationship right now. Because behind the glitter of the stage, behind the forced smile, and the neatly awake gaze, there is an inner war that no one ever really knows. A few days after Jimin disappeared from the public radar, fans smelled something off Jungkook's routine. He was no longer seen with anyone. He no longer greets the fans on the platform that used to be his place to vent. Even while attending a press conference for his latest solo project, the aura he carries is not pride, but emptiness. Is that regret? Or was it the realization that he had destroyed someone who believed in him the most? But an even harsher reality emerges when hidden camera footage shows Jungkook in the back hallway of the agency building, alone, holding a shabby piece of mail. The letter looked crumpled, probably having been opened and closed hundreds of times. But what makes the heart of anyone who sees it tick is the one sentence that reads clearly on the paper: "If you have to choose between saving me or saving your dream, choose your dream. Because I don't want to be a burden." And at the bottom of the letter, there is Jimin's signature. I ask this the reason Jungkook took that fatal decision? Does he feel that destroying the relationship is the best way to save Jimin from guilt? But if that's the case, why did Jimin just corner and disappear? The situation becomes even more heated when Taehyung finally opens up in an exclusive interview. With puffy eyes and a muffled voice, he said, "Sometimes we have to lose something to know how valuable it is. But if we realize it too late, maybe we've lost it all." Is this a satire for Jungkook? Or does he admit that he was hurt? And more importantly, what exactly does it sacrifice? Rumors began to appear. Some say that Jimin has decided to temporarily quit the entertainment world. Some believe that Taehyung tried to keep Jungkook from leaving but failed. But not a few also began to ask, is there a third person who triggers all this? Is it possible that someone manipulated their feelings to the point that they moved away from each other? An unnamed source revealed that before the conflict escalated, the trio had been undergoing group therapy sessions secretly. They look fragile, but they try to be strong. Especially Jimin, he really wanted to keep everything. But the pressure kept coming, and when one of them started to hesitate, it all collapsed. The source said in a low voice, "The most shocking thing is the appearance of a leaked voicemail allegedly from Jimin to Taehyung, a short but devastating recording. His voice sounded hoarse, like he was crying. You're the only one who knows everything, Tae. Please don't hate him. He's just scared. But I don't know where else to go." That sentence is enough to make anyone who loves them feel such a deep sense of emptiness. Why did Jimin feel the need to ask Taehyung not to hate Jungkook? Is something bigger being hidden from the public? Or did Jungkook hurt Jimin more than we thought? And then, without warning, comes another surprise that changes everything. At the annual Music Awards, which is attended by celebrities, Taehyung suddenly takes to the stage not to accept the award, but to deliver a personal message. With a microphone in hand and tears that could not be contained, he said, "We are too busy taking care of the image, to the point of forgetting to take care of each other. I just want him to know that when he comes home, I'll be here." We'll be right here. I promise." That sentence became the strongest hint that perhaps Jungkook never wanted to hurt Jimin. Probably everything he did was a misguided form of affection. But can that devastating love still be called love? Taehyung, on the other hand, remains the only one standing amid the ruins. He continues to voice support, continuing to signal that hope is not completely dead. But fans began to wonder, how long can he last? How long can he continue to hold his own wounds? One night during H.